Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the winter split of the Ireland Esports Collegiate Series League of Legends section. My name is Jonathan Sandbag Howell. Joining me, Liam Zathos Walters. Familiar faces, but new things to be had here, sir. How are we doing for this one?
I'm doing good. I'm just a bit creeped out, to be honest. You know my full name now. I've been over to Ireland a few times. Of course, being British myself, absolute pleasure to be back here. And talking about new changes, new house for you, Irish Collegiate C back better than ever. And even a few of these players here, you're a little bit closer to than most people would be.
Absolutely, right? We're going to launch right on in. These are best of one Swiss sections. So we're bringing you the heavy hitter. This is the number 2 seed taking on, I believe, the number 13 TUD Miau, taking on DCU Unending Despair. And as alumni of DCU, I personally know 3 out of 5 of these players. I will not have any biases. We are professionals. We have standards. But I can't say my heart doesn't have a little DCU flag kind of attached.
Well, for me, I've been over a few times. DCU because of you, bit of a fan of, but to be honest, I'm as unbiased as they come. I just want to see some good League of Legends. The only thing I could say is I have had a Guinness with a few of them. So maybe I am a little bit biased now, especially when you get a bit more drunk as a British man. But coming in here, you were saying there are a few champions that are most likely pick or ban for both of these teams?
Yeah, absolutely. They've been kind of doing a bit of scouting. I know there was an outright scrim block held between these two teams, which kind of shows you the standards that they're looking at here. So I'm expecting to be a few of these guaranteed. Lilia not going to be happening. Rakan and Udyr also not going to be happening. So let's see on these flip on through. Yeah, there it is. Udyr, I expect DCU also knocking the Rakan away as the OTP. Lilia expecting alongside a Draven for DCU, and then from there you have a little bit more flexibility of what you kind of want to start knocking down some S tiers.
Maybe I see a Draven ban, and now I'm excited. Of course, this is a best of 2 series. Maybe TUD Miau have an opportunity to pick that up in next game. Akali as well. The meta has kind of shifted most recently. Remember the patch of 15.19 or 14.19? A lot of champions got buffed, a lot of champions got nerfed, and most importantly, those itemization changes. Syndra has been very high priority for a lot of these teams. You can also have that Jinx if you want to on top of that as we get through the second ban phase. It's going to be that Kai'Su instead. So now TUD kind of saying to the side of DCU that they just want to be engaged.
Arthas going to be locked in alongside the Jarvan, meaning
Huh?
Okay, Jarvan jungle.
Explain this to me.
Jarvan jungle.
Okay. Karthus ADC? Or just Karthus?
Karthus will be in a role for this DCU team. There has been this is what the kids refer to as cooking, because there have been some problems of slotting in the AP damage. Zilean, so shockingly, they're moving at such speed here. Volibear was absolutely wrecking house alongside this Zilean in these scrims, so I would be not at all surprised to see that the Chrono Keeper can be popped in here alongside the Viego. That said, they swap it out instead. Leona forcing a potential evolution. You know, you'd love Braum, but you're not running Karthus Braum.
What's happening?
Like, we're off to the races, Zach. Come on, this is game one.
I was about to say, I'm used to Worlds. I've been watching that, having a great time, and then they're picking Karthus. No, there's a Yone. Now Yone. Like, the thing is, I know some of the players on Unending Despair, and now I'm scared that it could be like a Yone ADC as well, in towards the Kai'Sa Leona. Like, whatever you see on this side of the board, I don't know where it is. I've even heard from a top laner that you can have like a J4 top lane angle. I'm not sure if they play that. What do you even ban on me? They don't have a support
Jace.
Unless they're gonna go J4 ban.
You ban Jace. Rengus is a legacy player. They have pulled him out from the archives somewhere, dusted him off, shuffled some of the dinosaur bones out of the way, and brought him back up into the top lane. I think he's like 60-something% win rate diamond right now. This is not someone you allow. Vex also going to be showing face in the mid lane. One more 80 man up top lane, perhaps with the Wukong alongside it. It has been played both jungle and top, hence the ban.
Hear me out, right? You said that they were having problems with AP before. They don't have a damage problem at all. If Unending Despair only picked 2 tanks here, they are still just going to absolutely wipe the side of Miu on the damage department. But there's one champion that could be a possibility from Unending Despairs, and that is going to be that Poppy. Great counteraction towards the Leona and the Kaiser as well. They want to go for it, but instead it is going to be that Maokai lock-in. And if we start twisting around and thinking about where people most likely will go, J4 jungle, Yone mid, Karthus AD carry, Maokai support.
Yeah, I mean, that was always the assumption, was that it was going to be bot lane Karthus.
Okay, you say that. They have a Kanye West picture as it. Kanye's mad, and I think this team is really on the helium as well.
They are definitely going to be creating some sort of problems up in this top lane as well. So what do you look to blind? If you're dealing with Rengus up in the top lane, what are you willing to slam down, knowing that there can be anything? Fioras can be slammed, Aurelias can be slammed into the Gnar. I know that's an old school counter, right?
You've got to go for Aurelia. When you look at your team comp, you just have to go for something that can easily get it down. I'm a little bit more of a fan of the Camille, mostly because of both the Gnar, the Veigar, and the Kai'Sa, and even the Viego are really easy at these 2 items to burst down. And now when I'm looking more at this Unending Despair lineup, it feels more like a 1-3-1, because you have Camille, who will win out against the Gnar, you have the Yone, which is fine against the Veigar. Sure, it won't win, but it will have that push pressure in the side lanes. If they can really utilize that correctly with the J4 supporting them, they can just scale nicely towards this late game, start looking for those flanks, and take over this game, especially with if TUD Miau instantly jump onto a Karthus. He doesn't care. He's just going to tank it, use the ultimate on top of her, and let his Yone and Camille carry him. So this game very much is Unending Despair able to get their side lanes ahead compared to Miu, who are pretty simple, top do your thing, we're playing for bot lane.
Are you looking to navigate this so far early on? We're going to have the junglers with the reins to the kingdom. TUD Miau taking on DCU Unending Despair. Dr. House versus Bearheart. Where are you looking to navigate and get this game going?
Man, I love these names first and foremost. Absolutely love everybody in Ireland with the way they like to figure things out. TUD Miau, play for bot lane, have your Viego. There's 2 options you can do here. You can either full clear up towards the top lane, come down bot lane and just scale towards level 6. Then make a play. The other option, of course, is trying to do a late invade on towards their J4, as Viego does win out on that 1v1, and I'm most likely more positive with that. Compared to the J4, who I would play towards the top side, but instead is going to be down towards this bot side instead.
Trying to start their way down bot sides and navigate from there here, as we have a little bit of trading so far. Sprumble on the worst end of a couple of Bramble Smashes, getting slapped around a bit, but it's all about that wave push down there. And I can't say I'm very familiar with the matchup, but in my head, Karthus should have the AoE to get push and get prio.
Yeah, very much correct. The big issue is actually the mana pause, because Karthus is able to push out super fast, but you can already see he's at that half HP as we see the counter matchup in the top lane doing super well. And in that situation, you kind of ask yourself, why did Rengus not take that ignite?
Yeah, a little bit too greedy. However, looping around, Viego is going to look for an engaged twisted advance forwards. My maker move is going to be locked down, but they turn onto the Karthus under fire. No way out. Flash or not. First blood going over to L9. Dr. House reset in hand. They will grab themselves first blood down to the bot lane.
There was actually a big mistake coming out from both the support and the AD carry there. They actually had a ward on towards the blue side of TUD Miau. They knew that Dr. House wasn't there, so he had to stay bot side. So all they had to do was keep the wave nice and safe near their tower, because it was already pushing back, and they'll be fine as top lane.
Underneath the structure, Rengus bites off more than he can chew. White Raven gets the outplay, 2-0 for Miau, as now the J4 is forced into a hasty exit. And not what you're looking for, pushing your lead too far.
And this is devastating. J4 getting that blue buff for sure, but you can already see Viego is able to reset, keep his camp safe from him, so only 1k pop for Bearheart, while top lane's behind and this bot lane's behind. As we see the 1v1, of course Viego's winning this.
Looking to fight for a crab. Rengus inbound, flag drag lands, House forced to flash away. The J4 will make his exit. Q doesn't land as Mitch goes astray. That's the Veigar is going to be knocked up in kind. EQ flash, beautiful mechanics. Double kill to Rangus and Camille back where they want to be.
That is devastating for the Miau lot. What they tried to do was having Viego find that reset on the first kill and then have the mid laner come up. But because he queued backwards instead of on towards the jungler, Bitchart is able to survive, doesn't find that reset. And then even when the mid laner comes down, it's too little too late. So now when you can see top lane having that double kill, getting another kill here is going to be huge in this game, no matter if he made the mistake in the top side earlier.
Counter pick secured. Trying to press there a little bit too much, but they're able to pull this one back. All of a sudden, 200 gold shutdown. CS leads will begin to bloom behind it.
Yeah, Rengar's not having that TP available will need to try and push this out before they can get any more damage. As down towards the bot lane, you're seeing the big issue with the Carters is he tries to stack these waves and clear as fast as possible. The only time these AP bot laners start feeling comfortable in the lane is when they actually get themselves that lost chapters yet again towards the top side. This Camille's kind of just taking over.
Yeah, hook shot forwards every time that it's off of CD. They're going to look to dive again and again and again. Tactical sweep. Red buff is the slow. Maybe look for that Q2. White Raven's about to gnaw out, though. Keep in mind, Wallop is available. He'll have the HP and the CC behind it. Big wave dashing forwards, but not in time. Rangus goes on a rampage. Oct just swinging by mid lane to push out the Vigar. 4-1 top. DCU Unending Despair's top laner gets going.
More importantly, with that kill, he should be able to find that reset and start getting these items in towards his pocket. I expect him to be very close till that first item. Remember I said one, maybe two items is when they take over as we see the 1v1.
Sliding down the crab. They're going to be a bit of a fight between the tree. Meanwhile, mid lane, level 5, Yon does not have it yet. Forced to flash away from the event horizon. Outside of the bounds, he will flee.
Yeah, going to be able to stay alive there. However, with that reset, they want to try and pick up Dragon on the side of TUD Miau. Could be a possibility, but instead we'll go for the resets on the opposite side. I would like Unending Despair to play for this top side a little bit more, as Camille still hasn't reset.
Hasn't reset. 300 HP. White Raven's trying to avoid it. Out jumping forwards with the ultimate. Do they have the mana to work with? The pass through the boomerang and shut down for Nar. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Eyemaker moves going to be doubling forwards. Under fire is Karthus. A 1-for-1 supportal combat next on the chopping block. Sprumble punched into the wall. Skittle goes wide. Dunking and diving and weaving is Leona. Twisted advance for the Maokai. They get the 2-4-1 trade. Meanwhile, Grubs first going the way of J4. He's going to try and look for an exit, but the EQ, he fumbles it. He's now trapped in the back of the pit and mopped up. L9 Dr. House grabs that one. It'll be 2-for-1 on the Grubs, and that sweetened the deal with a jungle.
It was already risky because he wanted to try and steal one away as he had no prio in mid, had no prio in top to support him, and you just have to ask, why has Rengus not been able to reset earlier? This is side that the team should have helped him with, and we can see the problem with this Camille pickup early on. When you don't have that tier map, when you don't have really any way of trying to push it out, you're kind of forced to stay in lane. Then, of course, Bitchart was able to die in towards that team fight, and even though their top lane's a huge lead, this game, they're still 200 gold behind, especially with this Viego that we said was the win con for the side of Miau. Already has those 2 kills, and is pretty close towards that first item as well.
7.5 minutes in, 11 kills. This is breakneck pace that we're looking for. Absolutely beautiful. Gigantic wave stacking in bot lane's going to even up the kills somewhat down there, as Kai'Sa is going to look to pick up as much farm as they can.
Yeah, Kai'Sa has that lost chapter already, so we'll be comfortable clearing out these waves constantly without having as many mana issues. Still, have to say Unending Despair are pretty happy with how this early game is going. No dragons have been taken just yet. They will be looking towards it pretty soon. It's top lane.
Look at the damage done. Q2, all it takes is what? Hookshot auto Q2, and that was slivers left on White Raven's health bar.
I mean, it's just pure war up there. Whenever you can fight, they will fight. Camille having that ultimate up in around 15 seconds, I expect that to be a kill unless White Raven is able to find a reset. Of course, Mega Gnar going to be finishing off, so we'll have to force a TP if he wants to try and get back here, but instead, just staying in lane.
continuing to increase pressure, continuing to hammer away at this lead and see if they can get more. Hook trap forwards, flashing, Hextech ultimatum. Mininar is trapped. Rengus picks that up. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, it's a 3v3. Flashing away the cart. This first one down is L9 Dr. House. Frumble's gonna force to flash away. Ignite on the fadeaway. 2-6-7 for the Karthus. It's a 3-for-1 down bot. And once again, DCU come out ahead.
Karthus dies, but it's just too late. Making sure that they kill Dr. House before anything else, not being able to find that reset, gets themselves the kills towards the bot lane. Top lane again, finding another kill, gonna have that Trinity Force finish. And this game is just fully in the hands of Unending Despair. And you just have to question, what is Miau wanting to do here? Mid lane is happily scaling into it. All you have to do is get Prio down bot lane with your Viego and start looking for these dragons. But it feels like they are just going into the hands of what Unending Despair is, and that's just team fighting and just constantly looking for these brawly plays.
Yeah, absolutely getting sucked into the madness that is the DCU approach, right? Just looking to go at them over and over, but when you give those opportunities, they're gonna take them every single time. Karthus getting paid, CS leads, sure, great, I'll take 600 gold, thank you very much.
CS leads, kinda. I mean, when your AD carry is 55 CS and the enemy 70 at 10 minutes, you know there's something that's gone horrifically wrong somewhere on the map. Fighting after fighting after fighting. As we see a reset coming out from the Maokai looking towards the top side here, as they will be trying to pick up that second form of the Void Grubs. Nobody will be able to get any of those Voidlings unless Miau is able to pick up through his top lane.
Great look here, the two-man Gnar away. They get the Bramble Smash backwards though. What a great roam from Uct. He looks top lane and twists the dagger. Even through Flash, Raven dies.
Yeah, White Raven is not going to be having a fun game. He needs to get himself some of those armor boots if possible, but it's just so difficult. He wants to finish that Trinity Force so he can clear these waves a little bit earlier. Just feels like this top lane is completely over. At least TUD Miau down towards the bot side. Going to be able to stop the Karthus from farming, but teleport coming in.
They're looking to double TP here. Now jumping onto Eye Maker Moo. Kais has already expended the ultimate. Uxtec ultimatum. Yon over the top. They get one. They're looking for a second. 1-for-1 so far. Rumble's making an exit. Rengus caught in the middle of 4. He's gonna fall himself. Ultimate from the Karthus is gonna be a massive. It's up to Yon to find the damage left. Sprumble will live. The sapling just about finishing that one backwards. It's a 3-for-4 long fight, ending up with slight leads here for DCU.
Yeah, TUD Miau actually had the numbers advantage there, found the reset onto Dr. House, but the big difficulty is they just get the teleports too late. If they were earlier on, would have been able to find those kills, probably had 2 or 3 members extra alive and got this bot lane tower. But not winning out there, J4 was able to get the top side and still massively favorable for Unending Despair. Top lane now, 7-3, has that Tiamat, going to be able to clear those waves almost instantly. And more importantly, this Maokai is a unit. Look at him, 4-0-5, first item completed and got himself the Trailblazer. Man, I haven't seen this item in like 2 years. That item just doesn't exist.
Trailblazer plus full tabbies at 12 minutes into the game. This is one of the most well-funded supports you'll see.
No, you have to go the new movement speed boots, so you can just be running around the map at just Mach 20. So you can be top lane, bot lane at the same time.
Cruising. Yeah. Meanwhile, Camille damage is going to be high, to say the least, as he knocking down from the air. There goes an execution up in the top lane. Not even worth hyping that one up. It's just standard fare for this Rengus Camille.
Yeah, I've been hearing that Rengus is one of these players who just wins. I think I can see why now.
Yeah, this is the legacy player, right? This was the ringer that they pulled in straight out of the archives of DCU history. This is
they went to the old back of the library, got one of those Misty books, open it up, and it's just Rengus there.
You're just like, you know, okay, we're going to be forming a team. Who do we got? Let's go get Hercules real quick. Let's just dig him out somewhere. I think we got him rattling around. So Rengus, 8-3-1, game 1. He hasn't missed a step on this.
I mean, just pick up God when you can. There's no reason not to. We could, you know, get the guy, or we can get gods, you know, pretty easy opportunities there. Mid lane, I kind of feel bad for this Vega, if I'm honest. He's just here trying to chill, farming up, doing pretty well on the stack side, going to be pretty close towards that 100 mark at this point. But it's just fighting non-stop, and that just isn't built for a Vega. You either have to play around the Vega and make the team fights happen towards the mid lane, or that champion just can't compete. Yone's just able to move around the map so much easier, and more importantly, look at the prio in all of these lanes. Yone has prio in mid, of course Camille now has hard prio in the top lane that she's in the enemy jungle, and the only thing they can do is just defend this bot lane.
Trying to jump onto enemy support. Sprumble's gonna bear the brunt of it. iMakerMu looking to rejoin. Dr. House under fire. They get the first reset. J4 goes down. They turn the fight around 1-for-1 so far. 2-for-2. They dive forwards onto the Karthus. Yone inbound. Fate unsealed. iMakerMu explodes under the rest of the damage. Mid lane do damage. Mitch will escape so far. Flash Hextech ultimatum. Rengus with the chase down, making it a 3-for-4 once more. One extra kill in the bot lane again for DCU.
It looks cool for Miau to use the teleport, but they just overextend, given enough time for Rengus to walk down, for the Yone to walk down as well. So now they're going to be able to get this bot lane tower, going to be able to defend this top lane as well. So even more gold is getting funneled in towards the Camille, and you know Camille is fed when she doesn't even want to buy boots. She just wants to go straight for that second item, get herself that Ravenous Hydra, and just take over this game.
Looking to absolutely run amok on this one and have a minor pause here. Zenith Blade lands. First shield so far. Rengus is going to be jumping on the move. Forced to flash away. This Kai'Sa is forced to flee. Kiting so far. Tempo stacking. One more auto will do it. And the Kai'Sa finds the outplay. Assisted by support as enough time bought. Now Sprumble trying to find an exit. Leona finds the first stun, punched away from the Bramble Smash. Zenith Blade does not connect this time. Dancing through the W's. This Vigar's got a lot of damage. He has an R if he wants to use it. Jumped on so far. Cataclysm traps in too. They find the mid laner. They find the support. And Cataclysm locking them in.
Yeah, Octa's making this Maokai pick look overpowered as another fight.
Though. Looking to keep it going bot lane. W forwards. This Yone with the unsealed soul picks up the Gnar. The fights continue. 16 minutes in, I'm looking at 37 kills on my screen, sir.
The thing that's most upset is there's not even a 3,000 gold lead with this amount of kills. It's fight that's going back to back to back. As now Rengus towards the mid lane now, most likely will swap towards that top side. Two dragons over to the side of Unending Despair. That is a possibility to become their win con if possible, but I think they just keep the pace of the game. It is still favoring them very favorably, especially where these items have been going, because the one champion that we haven't talked much about getting a lead is this Karthus. Yes, has those 6 deaths, but 7 kills on Karthus definitely seems worth it. Pretty close towards that second item, level 11 inbound as well. Those ultimates are really going to start chunking soon.
Absolutely. He's also solo AP with the luxury of building whatever kind of pen style he wants.
Do what he wants.
He's working on Shadow Flame right now. He's got that needlessly large rod plus the alternator, so he wants flat pen. I absolutely agree with that sentiment. MR is going to be at a premium, and so far, 0 built outside of the Merc.
But who builds MR? Like, okay, Nard needs to finish 2 items before he can get the MR. If he builds it second, Camille's just going to wallop him even harder, so he needs that armor beforehand. Kai'Sa can't really, except for the Wit's End that's been nerfed. Leona is your only major champion that can build that magic resist, so that Karthus, even if Rengus does fall behind, isn't able to carry the game out. That is an easy possibility to just let the enemy team engage on towards him, use the ultimate, and just win the team fight almost by yourself with it.
And I want to just take the singular pause that we have to reestablish some expectations going into this, right? This is number 2 seed, throwing out the Maokai ultimate, but I expect it to dissolve here. They will continue to W forward. Sprumble under fire. Hextech ultimatum. They layer over the top with the J4. They get their prize. No pauses will be had. This is the number 2 seed. High expectations for TUD Miau, defending champs of the Irish Esports Collegiate Series. And DCU cooked up a comp to fist fight them in the street.
I mean, there's not really much to say about this except for just keep fighting when you can, as they might be overstepping here.
Traps 2 inside, flashing away. Ben's gonna be jumping into the back lines. I make her move with the Cataclysm, exhausted onto back lines. No chance of an outplay. Yon flies on in. They take the structure and fight all the same. 3 for 1 for DCU as they drop one at the very tail end.
Yeah, they lose their top lane tower for this, but with the mid lane tower in hand, you have to say it has to be worth it for Unending Despair. Recess coming through on the board pretty shortly. Second item complete for Carthus. Boots finally complete from Ringus as well. 2 items complete. And it just feels like they are just taking over this game, as Mitchell sure has done a great job on farming towards the mid lane, getting 2 items now. My only concern is he can only use his ultimate onto 1 member, and when you have this triple damage comp, to be honest, it's a 5 damage comp. Bot lane or their support super ahead, Opt is making this champion look busted. Even in the jungle, Beer Chart is dealing a decent amount of damage at the power spike of 2 items. I don't know who I would tell him to ult, because I would just say, can you just ult everyone?
Yeah, you're trying to find a control alt delete, but this is kind of it's going to be the situation. Yeah, it's going to be the situation of too many tabs to kill. You know, when you're just sat there in Task Manager, like end task and another pops up, end task, another pops up. There's only so many deletes that you've got left in the tank as they look to try and close all of these holes. 4-member strong topside, simple hook shot away.
Yeah, Rengar's being overconfident here, I would say. Should be a little bit further back. The team is trying to be playing around for the dragon instead. Scared about this Baron, though, definitely a possibility, but Kaiser Shine Award means that isn't going to be able to start. And I don't actually hate if Miu can force out a teleport from the Ringus, maybe, if they make a play towards the bot side. Or even if you give up the dragon, you can look for the Baron yourself and make a power play around there. But it's so hard to try and do anything, because in the 1v1s, it just feels like Miu are just losing.
It does feel like that it's tough to match up, though. However, keep an eye on those Vigar items. We got 2 more minutes until Roa stacks up once more. This will be DCU's dragon on a blue icon in sight. Shading away from the Baron is Rengus, so this will be guaranteed. It's up to Vigar. It does feel like you're waiting on those items to pop, the extra skill point, and then hope Mitcha can get going, because this train's running rampage over Summoner's Rift.
If Mitcha can find an ultimate, find a reset for Dr. House, there might be a possibility, because the benefit is, if Rengus is super far ahead like he is and you find a kill on him, you become the super fed carry. So if Dr. House is able to pick that up, find it into a second kill, find it into a third, and this is a champion as a Viego where no matter if the game looks lost, 1 kill can turn the tides, because if you're able to find 5 kills with the reset, you're going to have so much more gold into your pocket, making it even easier the second time, and by the third, it should be light out for the enemy team. Of course, a lot more difficult to do than what I've said as Ringus. Just all here.
Fishing, committing the ultimate. Here comes Viego, though, looking to reinforce his top laner. Karthus ult over the top, flashing away. Oh. Spectral Maw, the damage is massive. The Karthus online. Dr. House dies on his feet. Now there's 2 more members to pile in on top of Rengus. Event Horizon, hookshot forwards. I make her move. Will find a fly away with the ultimate, spacing beautifully. They get a trade, but so many members pulled. Leona's the closest one. Baron will be traded on out for DCU.
Yeah, haven't you seen the Leona Baron stills? Of course. One of the most famous things in the world, but fantastic play, you have to say. Rengus knowing that he has the damage to also try and burst somebody through. Of course, Carter's ultimate as well gets themselves the first kill, gets the second one as well. And now with Baron in hand on 4 of the members, they pick up the top lane tower, can easily go for the 1-3-1 if they want to, but I'm a big fan of the 4-1 instead. Just have your Camille of the team when needed, have, of course, Yone on the side lane, and start slowly choking out the enemy team. But I would say that is what they're going to do, but I'm actually going to tell you what they're going to do. They're just going to fight. They're going to see the enemy on their screen and just walk forwards.
Just the classic hold W, right? This is the FPS strategy of just keep walking forwards till you find enemy guys.
They can't kill us
and
all.
hit them.
Exactly. if you keep walking forward all together, they might kill one, they might find the reset, but we'll most likely kill someone else, as instead they will be going for the 1-3-1 format, having Camille on the side lane. I would say that this is an issue because Camille doesn't have Baron, but if anybody's been watching this game and seen what Camille has done, I don't think it matters, if I'm honest. I don't think anything that Camille does matters. Maybe if she gets instantly CC'd, she can get bursted. But with that Sterix gauge coming through as well, even the Veigar is having trouble trying to get through them.
Veigar is certainly going to have an issue trying to deal with not only the Sterix shielding, but also look at the amount of tenacity built up. Both Mercs and the 20% tenacity from Sterix. So even a lockup, right? The CC chain, there's going to be cracks in that to try and slip away in between those two sections if the CC is just a hair shorter than it normally is.
I'm questioning if I like the pickup from Mitcha of the Seeker's Arm Guard. The main reason for it is Seeker's Arm Guard, fantastic, of course, in towards the Carthus ultimate, but my issue is they're already lacking in the damage. Clearly, they're not really able to burst anyone out just yet with how the enemy team is so far ahead. With the way, if you aren't building damage instantly, how are you ever going to have the damage to kill this Camille? You see one Q coming through, not enough. I feel like you might just have to go for that Rabadons and just accept that you will have to reset in these team fights.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that call out. It feels like Rabadons is now, what, 30-something plus minutes into the game by the time that comes online. Soul is going to be up in just a moment, so I guess the call is...
You just need damage. You just need damage. You burst someone through, find that reset, but even with the builds on a lot of the other members, sure, you can say top lane don't really have to worry, but Kai'Sa could go for maybe a little bit more of a damage-oriented thing. Of course, it's really difficult to build with Kai'Sa. It's just mostly about this mid lane. You picked 2 defensive items, 3 defensive items. How are you going to find that reset for your jungler?
It's going to be hard. It's going to be a pick, right? It's going to be a vision play. Look to try and jump onto maybe this Maokai, something in those lines, as they do find a Zenith Blade forwards, but this is a support a long way from the DPS. Yone ult over the top. 2 members will be leading this charge on in. Maokai, Yone, Karthus ult, drops Gnar into the wall. Rengus down, 1-for-1 trade. Big ultimate's already expended. L9 looking forwards, flag and drag not landing onto the Maokai. Bramble smash backwards, flashing away from the event horizon, but now over the wall goes the Hextech ultimatum, delivered into back lines. Rengus finds his way on in. Karmu explodes underneath the Q2. Bit of a kite, extra hyper move speed, stunned up by the hook shot, hopping away, kiting for his life. This Gnar will remain standing. Veigar looking to find the DPS. The support shield knocked. This at any point could be a Control-Alt-Delete, and it will indeed be. Wing forwards. Another gate so far. Rengus slammed into it. No plays to be had. Gnar puts an end to the rampage, but Soul claimed in the meantime.
And it was just disjointed from the DCU lot. They had the right play of, sure, your jungler can die, we can kill the rest of you, and in towards the dragon. But Rengus going for a little bit too much there with Oct. Both of them dying gives a big opportunity for Midget to finish off that 3rd item, even letting Miau pick up another item with those assists. And it's starting to get to a point where, yes, they're winning out of these team fights, but if they keep overextending like this, and they don't finish off the game pretty soon, there's an actual opportunity to just leave Mitcha to farm on towards these side lanes, and maybe he has enough to do something in this game, but it's still so difficult to play this.
3 items completed. We're just waiting on that capstone for these mages. That's the one that you're looking for.
You know, only 3,000, maybe 3,600 to get. I could go on holiday, come back by the time they're going to be able to pick that up. Hopefully the game will be over before that. But Baron, going to be a little bit sooner in around 30 seconds. You're seeing the priority trying to come through from Unending Despair. Get your top lane pushed out, get your mid lane pushed out, and then just make the same play they did before. Rengus has that teleport if he wants to join, but you can just let Rengus on the side lane find a pick off. Ultimate on top of that from the Karthus, and that could just be a free Baron for you.
It just also means you got to keep in mind a fight is never quite as even as it looks here. Ulting forwards, Rengus is liking his chances in the 2v1 once more, but here comes the Karthus. So this will finish the job for sure. Rengus picks up one with the help of his AD. A second is traded for his own life. a 2-for-1 so far makes it yet another power play for DCU.
Yeah, but you see the Baron hasn't spawned just yet. Rengus not up for 40 seconds. Is it a little bit too early? We will have to see, as there will be a response coming out from TUD Miau. You have the Veigar, he might be able to one-shot somebody. Kai'Sa definitely doesn't have the damage to try and contest, but we'll have to see if they're looking for it.
33 seconds on Rengus, he has TP, Raven does not. They're gonna look for an engage with the Maokai ultimate. Soul Unbound, going golden. Here comes Eyemaker Mo on the left-hand side, exhausted and dropped. It's up to the mid laner. Can Mitcha find anything? Kiting for their life. They have the event horizon. The shield is popped. EQ forwards, knocked into the air. No fight left. The ace complete. DCU pick it up in the river fight.
Yeah, Kai'Sa being too late to that fight should have been a bit early, and they could have had an opportunity to burst someone through. But you see, when they get onto Mitcha, he doesn't have the damage to get through these tanks. He keeps the ultimate. There's no point dealing like 200 damage to someone who's full HP. They will be given over towards this Baron, and with a 30-second death timer on towards their mid laner, they could just give Unending Despair an opportunity to set up their waves and get ready to push in with this Baron.
Have Soul, have Baron. Gold lead is cresting towards that 10k mark. The wave builds. An upset in match 1, significantly possible here. DCU looking to take it over the line.
Were you expecting this?
I was expecting something. I was expecting some sort of creativity. That's why the Karthus didn't quite catch me as much. But this is another look for DCU, and defending champs look rocked right now.
The thing is, TUD Miau have a decent comp, right? When you look at it on paper, you're like, oh great, mid 2 versus 2, find a reset for our jungler, we can play. And then you look at Unending Despair, and they're just like, you know what guys, let's just pick our favorite champions. Who do you like? You like Camille? We'll give you Camille. You want Yone? You can have Yone mid. And it just feels like TUD Miau are a team that is great against other normal teams, but not Unending Despair. They have Kanye West in their profile picture. This team is just, they're having fun, and you can really see that.
However, they're looking for a fight, jumping onto the mid laner here. Rengus is forced away. 2-man stack up for the Yone ultimate. Underneath the structure, though, tanking tower strikes left, right, and center. Cataclysm on the back lines. That Maker Moo is dead and down. AD, heart is cut from TUD Miau's chest. Last one standing is the Veigar, but the stubby legs can't make the getaway. Jumped on by Rengus and Bearcart. 5-4-1. DCU break the base, and they're looking to end this one here, Zap.
Yeah, there's nothing they could do against it. What a fantastic showing from Unending Despair. I can't wait to see what their team comps look like in the next one.
31 minutes. Irish Esports Collegiate Series off to a bang with an upset in game 1. DCU Unending Despair go up 1-0.
So, easiest way to say was that was a game. An Irish Esports Collegiate Series game that was absolutely fun. I haven't played League in a couple of days, and you know, I wanted a smooth way in, relax, being like, oh, of course, they're picking the Jinx, Syndra on the opposite side. Oh, there's a counter pick. I like that. No, just like DCU just slammed their hand on the ground and said, yeah, we're picking what we want and we're playing our way. And there's times where I'm seeing them being like, so if mid lane pushes out and bot lane does this, it'd be a great time for a dragon. Good job on the prio. And then I just see Rengus just not do any of that and just find a double kill with a Karthus ult on top, and I'm just sitting here being like, I should just become a play-by-play with the Irish Collegiate Series. That's how it feels. It just feels like, can we fist fight? If the answer is yes, we fight. And if the answer is no, you're wrong, actually. We're still fighting.
Make it happen. Yeah, absolutely. Just, if you're not fighting, why not? Let's find out. Let's fight in a game. Is it over a pink ward? Is it over a dragon? Is it because I have cooldowns top lane?
No,
that's a good enough reason.
Let me explain to you why you're giving them too much credit for, oh, there's a dragon to play for. Of course, that's what you're meant to do. Or, oh, they have no cooldown, so I go in. Rengus top lane. Yes, he did fantastic this game, but he killed the enemy 2 times without resetting. And he's like, you know what I can do? I could push out this wave, use all of my gold, and I'm great. But no, him with his Dormant Shield and a longsword was like, you know what? I could take him again. shocker, he dies because he's like a quarter HP, and I'm like, Rengis, bit of an ego, man. And I think that's the best way to describe this team is they don't care. They're here for fun. They're just going to walk straight in and be like, oh, classes are finished. Let's just play a game of League. And that's the thing we like, the Irish Esports Collegiate Series.
Absolutely. There was style. There was fun. There's going to be so many clippable moments of people just flying in left, right, and center. Absolutely beautiful. But what that will bring us to is an upset. And as a result, your expectations of, oh, you know, UCD Leviathan's A, the big boss who has the kind of buy, they get to sit up there and watch the peasants figure out and sort themselves out.
Nope.
We're going to have to cut to a break to figure out where the seating is for the second game and what the expectation is, and pick one from this, because a little bit off the track already. I'm fired up, but it will be us cutting to a quick break. Thank you very much to the sponsors at the bottom, Reraw and Dogpatch. You yourself were there at the lab, Zath. So familiar faces, some new, some old. We'll run through these when we come back from the break. Don't go anywhere. Second game of the split right after the break.